Hello Virgo friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Virgo May 2023 Astrology Horoscope forecast. Calling the theme of this month, truly Virgo's time to shine, and I will show you all the reasons why I'm saying that. This is for you if Virgo is your sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, or any other placement of Virgo you're watching for. What we're going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. And if you're a very late degree friend, so birthdays around September 15th through the rest of the sign, or Virgo placement around 23 degrees through the rest of the sign, I suggest you additionally listen to my Libra report, as you very late degree friends will benefit from both the Virgo and Libra readings. Okay, so let's go into all of the ways that it's really your time to shine. I'll show you my astrological documentation for that bold statement. There's always going to be some mischief in the stars, and we're not going to be able to look at your entire profile by just isolating into the Virgo placements, but there still are a very unreasonable amount of things going your way, where the stars are speaking your language and perfect alignments are occurring. Let's start with this stellium of Taurus energy. All right, we've got Star Goddess Estrella, transiting North Node, Star Goddess Vesta, the Sun, Mercury, Uranus, Sedna. Sedna is a behemoth who's about to change signs, and this is a very monumental event. I'm not going to get into all of that now, but if you're interested in star goddesses, look up Sedna, Sedna's, Alan Clay's work on Sedna. This is, a really, really, really important thing going on here. And then we've got star goddess Juno, and then Jupiter about to be in Taurus, and then the new moon in Taurus on May 19th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for the new moon, things in Taurus. And why is that important to Virgos? Because those are all earth signs, and every single one of those placements brings that trine energy to Virgo. Trine is the most favorable aspect in all of astrology. That means all of the symbolism, all of the archetypal energy that's represented by each of those placements is giving you a chance to have a kiss and a beautiful manifestation. Jupiter is getting ready to go into Taurus, will be there for a year. So for the next year, all Virgos will have trines with the great benefic, the great expander, the bringer of luck. And where is all of this congregating? In the sign of Taurus, which is financial and other self-sufficiency, sustainability, material items, and your relationship with the material world. Not just stuff you buy, but, the earth, the alignment, the natural rhythms, all of that. Jupiter expanding. Star goddess Estrella bringing justice and fairness. Transiting North Node, helping you get on track with your highest expression. Star goddess Vesta helping you to find what makes your sacred flame burn bright, and family and home blessings. The Sun, where you shine. Mercury, good news. Uranus, spontaneous ideas and realizations. Sedna hasn't changed signs for a very long time, and it's sitting at the end of Taurus. I see Sedna representing the place where we're all the same and connected. Whenever Sedna has changed signs in, historically, humanity was on the precipice of massive change in their habits, in their lodging, in their movement, and how they interact and interface with the world. Dramatic changes. And here we are on the verge of, AI changing everything. Star goddess Juno, relationships of every kind. So blessings from all of these energies for Virgo. So that's very, very exciting. A massive amount of support, and all of that energy is congregating in your house of optimism, of solutions, of good luck, because Jupiter that rules good luck rules this 9th house as well. Oh yeah, and Jupiter's moving into the house that he rules, which is always happy there. International connections, languages, cultures, teaching, learning, education of every kind, speaking, publishing, writing, spiritual pursuits and communities. All of that is being lit up like crazy for you. So there's just And that's all of that I'm pointing out here is just one of the things that is going for you in the stars. Let's look at some more. Venus has a little bit more time in Gemini, but very quickly is going to get into Cancer and join Mars. Both of those signs together, that's a harmonious connection, and they're both in an aspect that brings opportunities for you because they're 60-degree angles to Virgo. So opportunities coming from networking, from internet-based projects, opportunities coming from teams and seeing yourself as part of a tribe, contributing your creativity to the bigger picture or something where many people can benefit and the fulfillment that comes from that. All of that is happening. Keep in mind, and we'll go into this more later, that Mercury is in retrograde until around the 14th or 15th of May, and then it takes a little while to get its footing. So most of the month is covered in retrograde, which is very much this inward and backward energy. Whereas June will be this upward and outward energy for most of it before we start the Venus shadow, pre-retrograde shadow. But understanding this may help you to use these energies because they can be very internal. They can be very much leaning towards the past. So opportunities from the past, let's say there is a church that you went to and someone invites you back or offers you something. Let's say there's a group you were a part of, a team. Anyone that contacts you during this time can hold a special key for you. So be on the lookout because the opportunities are just abounding here. All right, as if that weren't enough, we also have the eclipse in Scorpio. This is the second to last eclipse in the Taurus Scorpio eclipse cycle that started at the end of 2021 and goes to the end of 2023. A shuffling around of your stuff versus other people's stuff. A shuffling around of your money and autonomy versus you merging deeper into relationship, especially with resources, finances. Whether that's taxes, credit, debt, or wills, real estate, or, investments, anything having to, not necessarily real estate, but just investments, kind of some intangible things. Real estate is more of a tangible thing. But Taurus energy can be tangible things. So yeah, I guess real estate could be in there too. But basically resources, and they can be inner riches too, spiritual riches, psychological riches, emotional connection. There's a storyline that's been happening here, and we're almost at the end of that storyline. And it's been in a great angle for Virgo. So not to say that during that time, difficult things might not have happened, but it's probably not happening from this. It's probably happening from, something else being hit in your chart because this aspect is beautiful. So there are going to be some endings and possibly dramatic, but this can include the clearing up of a massive amount of karma in a short amount of time where you are left squeaky clean with a fresh new slate and new patterns that you can begin. For some context, think back to 2012 to 2014, like late 2012 to late 2014. That was the last time we had this eclipse cycle. And then back even further, late 2002 to early 2005. Not to say that everything that happened at that time is going to happen again, because obviously there were some unique astrological factors that are not present now that were present then, that might have been responsible for certain manifestations. But certain themes of merging, beginnings and endings of relationships, financial opportunities, connecting on deeper levels, intimacy, power and empowerment. All of that is in order for you, and this is in another 60-degree angle, which is that angle of opportunity. Remember, I always call this 60-degree angle the ingredients on a counter angle, where someone brings you ingredients for a pie, and if you just leave the stuff there, it will rot, and you'll be like, where's my pie? But you got to make the pie. So you have to look out for the ingredients that are coming in that you'll then have to do something with. Okay, now let's talk about Saturn. Saturn at least has moved into a sign, Pisces, that speaks your language. Water and earth energies tend to cooperate better. And this Saturn can be bringing a lot of tests to your relationship space to see if they have what it takes for the long term. And it can also be bringing in very long-term important relationships and strengthening and developing the ones that are there. Those of you who are September born, this would be the early degrees. Okay, so those of you who are August born, all right, so all of the Virgo friends that are there in the early degrees, like 0 to 10 degrees placements, or then you've had Saturn opposing your placement. Oppositions can be pretty stressful, but they can also help you to achieve balance and make major progress. So if you've been feeling Saturn's, the Lord of Karma's, influence on your physical body, your health, your wellness, you could be working to further deepen and strengthen your foundations. And that's what this time is very much about. Now, everyone can feel this Saturnian energy, but those of you who are in the August-born spectrum will be feeling it more directly, unless you have other placements in your chart that I can't see. But from what I can see, you all are in the hot seat now, but you're also in the most space of manifestation. Most space of manifestation. That's funny. I meant to say that, you have a lot of resistance that you can use to push through and crack the matrix, basically. And all Virgos have that right now with this. And it's going to be from 2023 to 2026. This is long term. But the opposing force is not going to be all of that time. Each of you will have a certain period of that time where the influence is much stronger for you. And the later you are in the sign, the later it will be in that spectrum of between now and 2026 that you'll be feeling that. All right, something else that I love for you all right now is that we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, first of all, we have more sweet aspects compared to salty ones this month again. That is not everything in a month's profile, but it is something. There are more harmonious mathematical connections with the stars compared to the salty ones, as I like to call them. So that's a plus. And most of those are in earth and water. So that means all of the earth and water signs can get extra blessings. And these are happening all in the early, middle, and late degree spectrum. So no one in any of the Virgo spectrum will be left out of this, because there are kisses coming from everywhere. Now, those same friends who are being hassled a bit, possibly by Saturn, you all are going to get the closest sweetness from 3 of those 5 aspects. All right, so at least know that. Now, if you like to know about the aspects and what they can bring and all that delivered into your inbox 1 month early, definitely go to AnnieHelpsYou.com. It's in the notes underneath the podcast or the video. Sign up for my free email newsletter. I don't send out a lot of newsletters. I just send out things that will help you with using the energies of the month. Very content rich, 3 emails a month. When we have harmonious connections between earth and water, big storyline here has to do with balancing your intuition and your logic in beautiful ways. So for instance, instead of racking your head against a wall, overthinking, you could have an intuition that you look into, and then it turns out to do something productive with one of your tangible efforts. Okay. So not to say that these exactly are making an aspect, but just giving an example. When you have a water aspect connecting with an earth aspect, intuition, emotion, that quiet, those hunches, all of that can bypass a lot of karma, can bypass a lot of time and work and effort. And also a little work and discipline using the earth energies can help to add to your intuition and your emotional relationships and connections. So there's this beautiful back and forth where they're feeding into each other and supporting each other. Basically, the beautiful connection of the mind and the heart. And although science has shown us the electric field of our heart is actually much stronger than that of our brain, when you combine the two, they are the most powerful force when the heart and the brain are connected. So adding the connection between these parts of your being is a very strong theme for this month. Okay, so of these things going on in Taurus, Mercury is also in retrograde, which means that because it's in Taurus, that whole Mercury retrograde cycle has also been making a beautiful series of trines with Virgo. You can see why I'm so excited about everything for you. So everyone can get blessings from the past with this retrograde, especially earth signs. And if you have any placements between around 5 degrees and 15 degrees, that's the stretch of the retrograde. So you will get 3 kisses if you're in that zone. So that's going to be like August 26th, 27th, 28th, something like that, through September 5th, 6th, somewhere around there. If you know your degrees, the degrees will be more accurate than the dates. But that range of time, you'll get 3 kisses from Mercury doing its retrograde thing. But remember, if you're not in that zone, don't worry, because everyone has chances to have blessings from the past. So most of the month of May is in this retrograde, which means, the inward and backward. And it's a time to sit on the beach and see what the tide brings in. It's not a time to put your boat afloat. It's time for you to sit there, relax, deal with what comes to you. And then as you get towards the end of May into June, then you can put your boat out and let the waves take it out to shore. But for most of May, things are coming into you. Blessings, little sea creatures, maybe some garbage. And then the tide shifts mid-month and things start making their way slowly out. And so here's my little guide. Until mid-month, we'll say really for the first 2.5 or so weeks of May, just deal with what comes up. Clear out clutter. Leave room for last minute magic. Don't overschedule that time because you're going to spend half of that time rescheduling everything you tried to schedule. If you've got unless there's something that's an emergency or you have an intuition about it or it's time sensitive, then just do it then, of course. But if it's not, get all those things done by April 7th, your tooth appointments or whatever you're going to do, or wait until June because you're more likely to not be rescheduling. If you schedule a bunch of stuff in May, you're going to spend half the month rescheduling. So you want to wrap up loose ends. Know that there's going to be some confusion and things will be cast into uncertainty. Try not to conjure or push things too far. Honor the flow. And leave room for last minute magic because lots of things can come in last minute. Then as the month moves on, as you get more towards the end of the month and into the first couple of weeks of June before we start our Venus pre-retrograde shadow period, it'll be time for launches and big decisions and agreements and investing and moves. And not to say that you can't do any of these things at other times. There's just a natural, longer term clarity when the planets are going direct. And it's easier to plan for the future and to push and initiate. Now, if you are interested in aligning your actions with the natural rhythms of the universe, definitely go to AnnieBAstrology.com. Annie, the letter B, astrology.com. And sign up for my exclusive content portal. I have so many goodies in there. I'm a prolific expresser, so anything that you do with me, I'm probably going to be doing it to excess. But in this exclusive content portal, I have my 2023 planning calendar, where it goes into detail about all the retrogrades, the open periods, to kind of understand where to align and when to do what, so that you're going with the natural rhythms. All right, so one more thing here. I just want to talk about that new moon on the 19th. It's at 25 degrees of Taurus, so anyone between 20 and 29 degrees. So that's going to be September 11th or so through the rest of the sign, and the closest to the 15th, 16th, somewhere around there. The more you'll get a kiss from that new moon. But again, nobody's left out of the potential goodies. It's a great time for seed planting and a wonderful time for things to manifest from things you've already done in the past, that you can then use this moon to take your next steps. If you love astrology and you resonate with how I teach and you want to learn, go to lumelife.com, Lume life.com. That's my school, Luminous Life Multiversity. There are free courses there on abundance, wellness, and you can find my Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Course. If you want to do astrology as part or all of a professional offering, or just learn it for your own self-development to help your family and friends, I can teach you how to do that. That is my area of expertise. So you can see that there. You can go directly to beastropro.com, beastropro.com. I don't know if you can see this screen, you can see the rest of these sites here. And if not, they're in the notes underneath the video or podcast. But I have 2 blog sites, and one in particular is very, 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 very beautiful, cozybysweetstarlight.com. That's where I do written horoscopes and astrology kissed blogs. Definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com, sign up for my free email newsletter. That also shows you all the offerings that I have so that you can see all the free offerings. And check out my books. Major bookstores, indie bookstores, Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe. That's the theme of my work. Radical Prayer, Transform Yourself and the World in 28 Days. And my spiritual novel, Tough Pill to Swallow. So I've been off camera quite a bit lately, but here's a picture of me saying, have a wonderful month and see you next month. Bye.